The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Amid the sweltering heat, the government is now studying proposals to bring back the academic break to the months of April and May. But for the meantime, students and teachers are finding ways, literally, to keep their cool this dry season. Brian Basa with the story.
This senior high school class in Sariaya, Quezon proves that learning is not limited to the four corners of the classroom. These students recently took their test in the school's open field. Their teacher explains this was done to beat the scorching summer heat.
Para hindi paypay ng paypay yung mga bata ko, ay para makapag-focus din at medyo malilim naman dun sa labas. Kaya ang ginawa ko sa kanila, tara labas.
At first, the students were hesitant, but they eventually saw the setup as a breath of fresh air.
So mas presko sa kanila. O nung tinanong ko sila after the exam, ano kumusta exam ninyo? Mas okay sir pag nasa labas, medyo nakapag-isip sila.
Back in Metro Manila, some students and teachers are adapting more traditional ways to cool down. These students in Mandaluyong City have armed themselves with fans, while teacher John makes it a habit to stay hydrated.
Always bring pamaypay at saka drink water talaga. Yun lang talaga para iwas dehydration.
In Occidental Mindoro, school uniforms will have to remain in the closet for now, as students and teachers have been allowed to wear light clothing in class. Education officials remind schools they are allowed to suspend in-person classes and switch to distance learning amid high temperatures.
We have to balance, no? We also have to think about yung kalusugan ng ating mga learners.
But a teachers group believes there has to be other ways to address the situation.
The long-term solution would be, well, a hiring of more teachers, no, a building of more classrooms, no, and lowering ng ating class size, no, and of course ventilation system sa ating mga eskwelahan.
For the Teachers Dignity Coalition, physical class schedules have to be shortened. This way, students and teachers will not be forced to endure the extreme heat in school, especially around noontime.
Basta kung sa tingin natin ay pwede pa, hindi naman mag-suffer yung mga bata, no? Wag lang naman mawalan ng face-to-face classes yung ating mga mag-aaral.
President Bongbong Marcos says the government is now mulling whether to set the summer break back to March. Currently for schools, it is set from June to July. This adjustment was made because of disruptions caused by the pandemic.
Marami nga nagsasabi, pwede na tapos na yung lockdown. At karamihan na ng eskwela, face-to-face na. Palagay ko, yung diskusyon na yan, madidesisyonan yan very soon.
For News 5, I'm Brian Basa, and we are One News.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology says they have discussed the possible extension of SIM registration. The DICT said officials held a meeting with representatives of telecommunications companies on Monday. The agency advised the public to wait for official announcements, as no decision has been made just yet. Based on latest data, only around 82.8 million SIM cards have been registered, 49% of total subscribers. Under the law, the deadline for SIM registration is set on Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Ahead of his meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden next week, President Bongbong Marcos underscores the need for the Mutual Defense Treaty between the Philippines and the United States to evolve. Marcos notes that the defense cooperation between the two nations need to be strengthened, especially with developments concerning security in the region. The President said the MDT and the Visiting Forces Agreement will be among the topics that he will discuss with Biden during his official working visit to Washington in May.
We have to evolve it. It has to evolve. Dahil nag-i-evolve din. Kailangan ina-adjust din natin yan. Dahil meron din talagang evolution, may nagbabago rin sa sitwasyon na hinaharap natin dito sa South China Sea, sa gitna ng mga pangyayari sa Taiwan, sa North Korea, lahat itong mga na medyo umiinit ang sitwasyon dito sa atin.
Marcos adds that the Philippines is concerned about disputes in the region, citing the need to work together to prevent tensions from building up. The bilateral meeting between Marcos and Biden will be conducted in light of the expansion of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement or EDCA by adding 4 more sites, 2 of which are facing north towards Taiwan.
Ngayon, medyo mabibigat na ang usapan, medyo nagkakabitawan ng mga may maanghang na salita na eh. The United States has always been our partner in terms of the special relationship between the Philippines and the United States. So yun ang pag-uusapan namin.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The National Security Council says the Armed Forces of the Philippines has achieved a, quote, strategic victory against communist rebels in the country. NSC Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya says the military has neutralized majority of the forces of the CPP, NPA, and DF. The council believes that the weakening leadership among rebels contributed greatly in setting back the movement. Because of this, the NSC is hopeful that the government would be able to put an end to armed conflict in the country before the end of President Bongbong Marcos's term.
So it's dying stages now, no? Kasi based on the latest data we have, out of the 89 guerrilla fronts of the Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army, 67 has been dismantled since 2018. We are in a good place. No, the military considers this that we are at a strategic victory level, and hopefully in the next 2 years we will have total victory.
The NSC also says the government has no plans to revive peace talks, saying that rebels only call for negotiations when they need to fall back or take a breather. Instead, to expedite the eradication of armed struggle in the country, Malaya says the Philippine Army is now looking at the possibility of offering amnesty to active rebels to encourage their surrender.
It's not a benefit to them if they surrender. That would be a big help to us if an amnesty law is passed, which would cover crimes that were committed prior to the effectivity of the amnesty law.
President Bongbong Marcos led the send-off ceremony for Filipino athletes competing in the 2023 Southeast Asian Games. The president expressed gratitude and vowed to provide support for the Philippine delegation. The country placed fourth in the 2021 SEA Games held in Hanoi, Vietnam, with 52 gold medals, 70 silver, and 105 bronze. This year, over 800 Filipino athletes will compete in more than 600 events in Phnom Penh, Cambodia from May 5 to 17.
Dadala kayo ng dangal sa Pilipinas. Tignan na lang ninyo, lahat ng mga champion natin that have gone out onto the international stage, that have made a name for themselves, and all they have done is bring glory to the Philippines.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.